Hello, lovely people. Last night I was in prayer and I really had a sense that some of you are at your wit's end, and at your wit's end, God is there. And I could see some of you crying out to the Lord, saying things like, where are you? Do you see me? Why aren't you ending my misery? And oftentimes when we're in suffering and when we're at our wit's end, we can mistake what is happening for the Lord's hand. And I felt to encourage you that God is not the author of your confusion, and to not confuse the authorship of the enemy or the soul in your life for the hand of God. For his plans are to prosper you and not to harm you, plans for a future and a hope. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but he came that you would have life, and life in abundance. And so as you are at your wit's end, or you're going through suffering and going through trials, I felt to encourage you to cling to his word, to feed off of his word. I was just telling this to someone I was coaching yesterday, that there is something in the word of God that when you feed off of it, even if everything in your five senses, your flesh, is crying out the opposite of what you're reading and what you're hearing and what you're feeding off of in the Word of God, that there's a moment when your spirit rises up and says yes to the Word of God. And I was just telling a story of something very similar that happened to me last year when I was in a health crisis and I was going through so much, but I was listening to faith-filled teachings while I was in the most intense suffering. And something rose up in my spirit and agreed with what I was listening to. And even though nothing changed in the physical, I had a word of the Lord that I clung on to. And I slowly started to heal after that point, and things shifted. So I wanted to encourage you to feed off of the word of God, because your spirit's going to rise up in agreement with the word of God. His word never fails. It lasts forever and ever. These momentary afflictions are light and temporary, even though they don't feel that way. But his word lasts forever, and his word will lift you out of your wit's end. So I hope that blesses someone. Talk to you later.